Hey, and welcome to the Toadstead. Well, a couple different things just to show you today. Mainly, we're going to show you that right there, but sometimes we just get many things happening at once. So we'll give you a look at what the shop looks like at this moment. Now, what you see there in the background, this big thing, that's an ankle loom. And it's for hand weaving things that look like belts, but it's a lot more than that. It can be trim, it can be used pretty much to weave anything. I think this one's about 4 yards. Everything winds in there. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but everything winds into there, and then this is the area that's used to weave back and forth. And it's an old design, but this particular one is not really particularly well made, but it's not a bad starter loom. Somebody just wants to learn. And what we have here, I was commissioned to make 4 more of them. And these are the very rough bodies. I just finished basically putting them together. And there's a lot more that needs to be done, as you can see here. But that's kind of an ongoing project. And there's some of the pegs you can see. They won't be used for this particular loom, but there's some pegs there. And there's it's a mallet head. It's a beech mallet head that's going to get thrown together. Anyway, while that's going on, go over here. And in fact, these are the oak dowels that are going to get used in those looms. But what you see here is I think Premier made this. And it's a little 12-inch by 12-inch, basically an incubator. It sits up on the 4 legs. Here, let's put it up on the box so you get a better look at it. And basically you can adjust the heights of the legs, which makes this area larger or smaller, taller or shorter, depending on how you look at it. And the newborn chicks can go under here, and there's a hot plate underneath. It gets about 100, 125 degrees. So when we hatch our new chickens, this will obviously be lowered quite a bit further down, and it keeps them warm so they can do their thing, which is to grow and then give me eggs. And I got this particular one mostly because it came pretty well recommended, and it has this cone, little pyramid thing on it. People from Memphis will appreciate that. Has our little pyramid on it because anybody who deals with chickens knows that if a chicken can get on it, they're going to poo all over it. So, little chicken slide. If they jump up there, well, they ain't going to stay up there long. And then you see this thing. You know, sometimes on a cold, icky day, we just build stuff. And this was knocked together using just stuff I had laying around the shop and a bunch of screws. And it's a new brood box. It's just plywood and some old 1-bys that were left over. In fact, if you're watching the channel on a regular basis, you'll know we just took the interiors out of 2 utility or covered trailers and built one for ourselves. And this is a lot of the leftover wood. And some of you beekeepers might recognize the queen excluder. This one was kind of, well, it was kind of messed up, and I guess you can see it kind of bows up. So I really wasn't using it anymore in any of the hives, but I couldn't bring myself to toss it, and now it's the air ventilation for this little brood box. And this is just kind of to show you a couple of things. I knocked this together in a couple hours here in the shop yesterday because it was a very cold, rainy, crappy, windy day, and got that done. And this little guy came in. I'll do a review on this, but you can kind of look at this as partly as the unboxing. And yeah, you probably noticed that it's upside down because I wasn't paying attention when I threw the legs on it. Anyway, I'll take the top off here, and it actually goes the other way. So we'll put it back up on top. And that's probably closer to what it's going to be as far as height goes when the newborn biddies are put in there. That's maybe, 1 finger up to the middle knuckle, couple inches, 1.5 inches, and that's going to be pretty close to what the biddies will want. And actually, now that we've turned it around, I can show you a little bit more, and you can see why we definitely don't want bird poo all in there. And let me see if I can get a spot here. All right, I like the way these legs adjust. Some of the other ones are a little bit more, I looked into some. I'm not going to name the names I didn't choose, but I will say that one of the reasons I didn't choose a major competitor was the way these legs are adjustable. You simply see that little tab, you just give it a push like that, and it allows these legs to go up and down, and then it pops back out under spring tension and holds it. Some of the other ones were a little more flimsy, didn't like it, and nobody has to get a level out because you can just count the rings, you know, see how old it is. Anyway, you can count the rings and you know that your little warmer is at least level. So I guess you can call this this is the kind of crap we do when we're bored, and the unboxing of this Premiere. I think that's the name of it. I'll put it down in the description if I remember to. But we'll call it the unboxing of that too. So this is what we're going to use. We have eggs in the incubator now. If we get some successful hatchings, or should I say when, we're going to keep hatching until we get as many chickens as we want. And we'll bring you back and show all that. But this is the new system. I do not know if I showed the old system, but if you can imagine in your mind a galvanized feeding trough a little bit larger than this, covered with just mesh, and then we had a heat lamp in it. Now that worked, but two problems. We had to keep it in the living room, long story, and it was a little ungainly and a little unsightly in the living room, and the person wanted their galvanized tub back. So we lost that, and I'll show you what we went to. You can see that tubby up there full of egg cartons, and if you look closely, right there at the top, you can see the heat lamp sticking out. Now, automatically that tells you, and more than one friend told me, you got a heat lamp and a plastic tubby, you're going to burn your house down. Okay, but it worked. It was good for one season. We hatched out a dozen or so, maybe a dozen and a half chickens, and it did work. But it was a bit of a fire hazard. It was right inside the house, so we weren't, we kept an eye on it. But number one, we wanted to be able to move it somewhere where we didn't have chickens in our living room. Now that the shop is sort of coming together, this is actually going to stay out in the shop, and we'll monitor it out here. That way the biddies aren't cheaping away while we're trying to watch television. But there you go. The new brood box. Hopefully we'll have enough live births to show you how things are going with it. Thanks for coming along. We'll see you next time around.